Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I get this makeup look. My last video is pretty outdated and I don't really use a lot of those products anymore, so this is going to be an updated version. And if you saw my last video, my foundation did not match. It was like super white. So in this video I just did a whole lot better. Like, we've made some progress with the makeup. I also wanted to say I have really oily skin. I go clubbing in this and it doesn't like need to be touched up or anything, and it just lasts. So if you also have oily skin, this is the video for you. So if you want to know how to achieve this makeup look and all the products that I use to make it last, then keep on watching. Starting off with primers, we're going to use the e.l.f. Putty Primer and the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I really like both of these together, but when you're applying this one, you don't want to put it like all over your face. You just want to put it on like specific areas. So basically my T-zone area and where I get really oily. So I just pat it in so that it really gets into the pores, and then we're going to let this sink into the skin for like 5 minutes just to make sure that it doesn't mix with the other products. While we're going to let this sit for 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and put in my contacts. These are the TTDI Polar Lights Gray contacts. I really like these. These are my favorite. Like, look at the difference. And I have brown eyes, obviously. I love these contacts. Now we're going to go in with the Power Grip Primer. I am almost done with it. This is so good. I used to use 2 pumps, but I find that just one works. And we're going to do the same thing where you isolate it in the areas. So my smile lines, my cheeks, and then a little bit on my forehead, and then also under the eyes. It's been 3 minutes and it's now tacky. I'm gonna use this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. It's the pink shade, but I took off like the fluffy thing at the top, so I just like take out as much as I need and then put it directly on my beauty blender. I just put it under my eye bags to lighten it up because I feel like I have dark circles, and this just helps even out my skin. This is one of my favorite concealers. I use this when I'm like going for a more natural look too. Next I use the e.l.f. Halo Glow in the shade Light Medium. I only use very small amounts of this. I literally only put it there on both sides because I have really like oily skin already. I feel like it just gives me too much shine, so I only put it on this like lower part of my face. I don't put any on my forehead at all. I also don't put it on my nose. I've seen a lot of people say that this makes them like really look greasy and stuff, and to me my solution to that is just not putting it all over my face, because it really does give you like extra shine. I don't really put a lot of makeup on my forehead. It's just a personal preference of mine. I do end up putting like bronzer and stuff, but I don't really put like a lot of concealer or heavy foundation on there. I just find it looks better on me that way. So I don't always wear foundation, but when I do, I will use NYX Bear With Me in the shade Light Neutral. This is number 4. If you've seen my last makeup video, I think it was like a L'Oreal foundation, and that shade was too bright for me. I literally look like James Charles in that like one photo. Oh my god, it was so bad. That? So I ended up getting this one, and I find that it works really well with my oily skin. I also only use the smallest drop because I feel like you really don't need a lot. I only use like literally that much foundation, and I just take a little brush, lightly put it all over my face, and then I blend it out with a beauty blender. The smallest amount of foundation, literally like whatever was left on my hand goes on my forehead, and we just blend this out with a beauty blender. And this one I do feel like it keeps my skin matte. Like, this foundation is gonna last me forever. Next I went with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Contour Wand, and I actually really like this one, Fair Lights. My best friend gave this to me, and I find that it works really well with my skin tone. And then I also put it all on my nose to contour my nose. And this is how I put it on my nose to get like a more like button nose. But I used to only use like a bronzer stick, and boy was that orange. So I'm really glad that I have this one because it's more of like a cool tone. I didn't know what the difference was between contour and bronzer up until like maybe a year ago. I was walking around like looking orange. I'm really glad she gave this to me and I tried it out because, girl, literally this is contour. Like, you can definitely blend this out with a beauty blender, but I just like to use a brush and then go over it lightly with a beauty blender after I put the bronzer. I just be using the same brush to blend out my nose contour, but I feel like I should definitely get a smaller brush. That way it can be like more precise, but I don't know. I feel like it kind of works the same. For bronzer, I use the Pixi On The Glow Bronze Stick. I used to put it like directly on my face, but when I wear foundation, I do not, because I feel like that's just like moving around the foundation. So I'll just take the same contour brush I was using and then go over it and then apply it on my face like that. I feel like this makes it look way more smooth and blended rather than just like putting it on over the foundation and like moving the foundation, you know what I'm saying? And this makes it way easier to like build up too, because I used to put like way too much, and I'm telling you, I used to have a problem with looking so orange, so glad I fixed that. Then I will also put some on my forehead just to warm that up, and just lightly going over it with a beauty blender to really set that into the skin. I also take some and I put it right on the bridge of my nose, like that little dip part. Moving on to blush, I use e.l.f.'s liquid blush. This is in the shade Pinky Promise. I think it's pretty bright. I like how it looks, although it is very pigmented. You have to use like the smallest drop. So I put just a little dot there on both sides of my cheekbones and then a little bit on my nose. I also got the brush that comes with it. It's the e.l.f. liquid blush brush. That is a freaking tongue twister. I tried to say it like 3 times. It's a very dense brush, which I really like, and it's also angled. Blend this out on my nose. I've heard a couple people say though that it fades really easy. I have not had that experience because I put blush on top of it, so I wouldn't really know, but in my experience I don't think it does, to be honest. And then we're just gonna blend this out a little bit so it's not as harsh. Very slay, very natural. Next for concealer, I use e.l.f.'s Hydrating Camo Concealer. I really like this concealer. I have not tried the matte one. I'm kind of like scared to try it because I heard that it dries really fast. I'm gonna go over this with the e.l.f. All Nighter Setting Spray just to set it in place. I really love this setting spray. I'm literally like on my last few drops of it. That's how you know. We're just gonna let this sit for a minute and then blend it out. I'm pretty sure I would use an e.l.f. brush to like try to blend it out, but it's not a very dense brush, so I just kind of stopped using it and I just use a beauty blender. So I go along the side right here, but I also use the back to really smooth out any of like the harsh lines. I like the really bright under eye looks. I think it's just like a makeup preference. And then with any of the excess that I have on my sponge, I put it on my eyelid. Slay. Okay, moving on to powder. This is what really makes my makeup sit. Okay, being an oily skin girly, I use 2 powders, a pressed powder and a loose powder. They're both the Maybelline Fit Me's, and this one is in the shade Translucent and this one is in 5 Fair. I am obsessed with these. I have been using these for a fat minute, and now I have the perfect combination because I started using a powder puff. I'm going to show you how I make my makeup like look like a filter and soft like a marshmallow, and it does not budge. Like, I literally gone clubbing with this and it does not like budge. I don't have to do my touch-ups like I usually do. So you take the powder puff and I just go over this, and you're going to want to start like closer to down here and then take up the excess. I don't know if I explained that right. I'll explain it one more time. Start down here and then work your way up with the excess powder. That way it's not like super cakey under your eye. And really focus on like where you get oily. So for me, it's my T-zone. So like really on my nose, I press it into my skin. I swear this is the secret to not having your makeup budge. Like, you need 2 powders, a pressed one first with a powder puff, then you go in with the loose powder. Something I used to do in my old video was I would go with the pressed powder and I would use a brush, and then I would use the loose powder with the powder puff. Scratch that. I literally would have so much texture, and with this it's such a smooth like finish. I got these off of Amazon. It was like a pack of 6, I think, and it was like super cheap, so I'm gonna link it down below for you guys. Everything else is gonna be linked to my storefront too, so all of these products you'll be able to find. And I'm just gonna also tap this into my smile lines, but also the bridge of my nose, and I pat the excess on my forehead. And then we go in with the loose powder, also with the powder puff as well. Put the excess on my hands, lightly bake over. I'm telling you guys, this is like the key to oily skin makeup. Like, powder, bake. Make sure it's on there. It looks crazy now, but trust the process. Like, you have to trust the process. I got this big powder puff from my local beauty supply, and I just go like at the end over all of this and like really tap it in. But while that bakes, we're gonna move on to bronzer, and this bronzer, I don't remember where I got it from. This is the Essence Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. I really like it. 4 different shades. I only use 2 of them, so I just take this shade and this shade and mix them, and then I go over lightly because I used to look so orange with this too. I don't know, for some reason I really know how to overdo it with bronzer. I like really like to look sun-kissed, and by sun-kissed, apparently I like to look freaking orange. So sometimes I get carried away with this, but I think I've gotten better. I say that, I'm not gonna jinx myself. I just like a lot of bronzer. For my nose contour, I don't really add too much extra because there's already color on there, but I do still mix these 2 and then brush a lot off of my hand and go under my nose, over it, and I like drag this line across my whole nose. I also add some here. I forgot to set my eyes, so we're gonna do that really quick. I just go over it and get rid of the excess concealer, and then same thing with the powder puff. I use the pressed powder and then the loose powder. I don't really ever put eyeshadow on, but if I do, it's just like easy bronzer. But I also really like just like the white eyelid look. I don't know, that's personal preference because I like to put eyeliner. Sure, I think like it has a nice contrast. We're just gonna tap in any of the excess. Moving on to blush, MAC sent me this really pretty blush. It's in the shade Happy Go Rosy. I really like it. This has been my go-to blush. I use it like literally every time I do my makeup. This one I very lightly brush over my cheek and tap, and I like to focus it on the higher parts of my cheek too. It's literally just such a pretty blush. I love this color. I also put some on my nose. I just think it looks cute. Yeah, isn't that cute? I love this blush. It's so cute. Lolo has made an appearance. Say Lolos. Say Lolos. He just turned 6. I literally cried on his birthday, but I took him to the park. It was so nice, but that's my little old man. Moving on to brows. I use the NYX Lift and Snatch eyebrow pencil. My eyebrows are like fairly full, so I don't really do too much to them. This is so much easier to do my brows when I just kind of like fill them in lightly and then call it a day. I also think a more natural brow just suits my face more. That ugly ass thing in the background, I didn't realize you could see that. I should probably get a poster to cover that up. The rest of my room is cute. Just ignore that. I am not going to put eyeshadow on because I never really do. I just do eyeliner, so I'm just going to show you what I usually do. For eyeliner, I use the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner. This is my favorite eyeliner. Man, I've been through quite a few eyeliners. A lot of them are like drugstore, like beauty supply store too. But my least favorite was the e.l.f. eyeliner because it literally like flakes off right when you put it on. Not gonna lie. Sorry, e.l.f. Love you, but like don't love the eyeliner. But this eyeliner is the best one I've used. I am feeling a dramatic wing as usual. So for highlight, I like to use 2 different highlighters. One of them is this little Ulta highlighter, and the other one is this beautiful little highlighter from Too Faced my best friend gave me as well. I feel like putting this one first just makes the other one brighter. I use this little brush to highlight my nose, and then inner corners, and under my brow. And then I go over it with the Too Faced one. This one has such like a iridescent shimmer. It's just so gorgeous. So I always use this highlighter, and I also use it on my cheeks as well. This is such a better makeup tutorial than the other one I did. Oh my freaking gosh. Y'all, if y'all saw that one, no you didn't. No you didn't. This is my updated makeup tutorial. I used to be scared to curl my lashes. Literally in my last makeup video, that was my first time curling my lashes. I thought it was so funny. Because now I do it like nothing, but back then I literally was so scared. I was like, what if I rip my lashes off? Never did. Never did. And now I love curling my lashes. Before I put mascara on, I always put lash glue on the lashes that I'm going to use. They're the Ardell 251 lashes. I cut a little bit of them off, so they're old first of all, but I did cut off like a little piece of them, so they were kind of more like half lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put glue on these, and then I'll put mascara on. While the glue dries, I'm gonna use the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift mascara. Really like this one. The one in my last video, it was supposed to like separate the lashes, but it was just like really oily, I felt like, and I think that's what was supposed to like separate the lashes. The Lash Bloom mascara, don't like it that much. Low-key, I kind of think I want to put my big lashes on, but I also want to see what these look like. Choosing a lash style is so difficult sometimes because like they're 2 different looks. Kind of slay, kind of slay. What do we think? What do we think? And then I use the white NYX eye pencil to go on my waterline. Then I'm going to set my face with the All Nighter setting spray again, and then we'll put highlighter. Then we're going to take this highlighter and put it on the top parts of our cheekbone. Okay, so for the lips, we're going to use the NYX lip liner in Espresso. I freaking love this one. Obviously, it's so small. We're just going to line the lips. I really like the dark lip liner combos. Love a good dark lip. Then I'm also going to go over it with the NYX Powder Puff Lippy in the shade Best Buds. Then I use the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee to top it off. Final touches, I just go over with whatever was left on the powder puff, and I tap my skin just to really lock in everything. That's it for the makeup part. I'm going to give myself a blowout really quick and then come back and show you guys like the final look. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the finished look. Very chic, very sexy. I love it. This is how I style my bob. I filmed another video and it's an in-depth tutorial on like a blowout on how I do it on my short hair. So if you're interested in that, be sure to keep an eye out and subscribe so you can know when I post that. I ended up adding like little inner corners because I forgot to do that earlier. And then I also added like my beauty marks. I always put my beauty marks. They're like just different spots throughout my face. But yeah, this is the entire look completed with my hair. I really love this look. Sometimes I'll curl my hair too, and I can make a separate video for that. But today I felt like giving myself a blowout, so here we are. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any like makeup favorites. I love to know other people's and I want to be put onto stuff. So if you have anything you want to share, let me know. Also, if you want any other tutorials, let me know in the comments down below as well. I'd love to film anything you guys are interested in. Also, follow me on my TikTok. I'm like more active on there with like little mini tutorials and like just like a lot of beauty stuff. You'll be able to find all my links down below. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye!